Okay, so the next thing we're going to take a look at here is we're going to take a little bit of time to check out the hair and some of the just the little accessories that I have added onto her there. So keep in mind, like I said, we have the ability to kind of use morph targets to create that. We have a few corrective mesh points as blend shapes, so I put a few morph targets on that are just default. So if I want to affect the mesh in any way, shape, or form, I can go in and just affect the blend shapes that are already attached without having to worry about that too much. And it only has to calculate one or two extra morph targets, which kind of makes things nice. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the hair. And very quickly you see we have translation. We have the ability to rotate this up and out. And this all kind of acts as one clump. Well, what if we want to get kind of a nice arc? Well, we can do that very nicely by simply coming over here. And then we go to, let's say, Z. Okay, and we can get that sorted. Look at that nice swish now. Okay, now we're getting a little bit of weirdness going on there, but that is why we have the ability to use translation. If we did not have that translation ability, then we wouldn't be able to do anything about this. But because we can, and we do, we can adjust it however we want, you know, and that's going to fix whatever, you know, it's doing there. So we have the ability to really have some finite control on this hair, and with not too much difficulty, we can select what we want to select. I probably want to leave that alone for the most part as far as rotation goes. So we're just going to kind of, you know, move that over here. So again, we can fix this little bit of weirdness just by coming here and bringing up and out a little bit, and there you go. Okay, and that's not too bad. And then if we want to have a little bit less curl, we can just sort of pull that in a little bit, and that's not bad there. So if we wanted to have, you know, maybe the hair, just this piece, maybe we want to just rotate this, we can do that and just leave that there. Or we could rotate this or pull this in or out. We have a huge amount of control. It's a little daunting. It looks a little weird. It's like, you know, I don't know if I want to have a rig with this many control objects. And I understand that kind of thought process, but it gives you an incredible amount of control because, like I said, I mean, you know, I can do finite spot treatment. I mean, maybe I want to have a shot and I want to change the perspective like this because I want to create that anime look that's not 100% good perspective. Well, it might look better for it to be a little bit further in, you know, or maybe further out. So, you know, it's going to let me get the hair off the shoulders, and when let's say the arm goes back, and we don't want this weird penetration happening. So what we can do is we can just go here, you know, maybe twist that a little bit, and then we can pull it backwards, and look at that. And we get that same kind of a hair flow, but we have fixed the weird penetration there. So that's going to give us a lot of nice control there. So we're going to leave the hair kind of swished out like that for now. Now we're going to take a look at her rank. Now at one time, Nell was the third Espada. And we want to be able to see that Nell was the third Espada. So I have a flap control, which is basically going to let me, you know, kind of lift that piece up there. And then I have a little bit of curl to offset that so that, you know, I can kind of animate it softly coming down and then overlapping. So that's kind of a nice little add-on there. So let's go ahead and zero all this out. All right. Zero all of our translations and our rotations. Then we go back to that nice soft hair. So let's take a look at our bangs now. Okay, again, we can pull these out. We can also rotate, and by simply going here, because this is only one chain, I can hit this very quickly by going to select hierarchy, and then we get this nice curl here as well. And again, let's say, oh, I don't like the way that's behaving there. That's okay. We can just move it over or lift it up, or we can affect just the end or just the middle. So whatever you want to do, whatever you don't like, we can finitely adjust it to whatever point that we want to do so. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear all the translation and rotation information, and very quickly we get back to a bind pose. So we can pull this out. Now this is an interesting thing. Notice that the head actually ends here. So what that basically means is that I would either have to take the camera and animate it so that you don't see that, or with this I can actually pull this in now. So now even if, no matter what angle we get, no matter how close we get, because the hair is now actually covering it, you know, I can fix that. And it's just really nice to be able to have this much control over what the hair is doing, because now we can add a lot of really nice life to it. Another interesting thing I added was these bangs here have the ability to move as well as rotate. And these two here can rotate as well as move, translate. But I also added a set driven key system here for just a little bit of offset rotation here as well. So that's kind of a nice little thing we added in. And the last little thing would be this nifty little crown control. Now, I don't need any rotation for it, but the translation kind of gives it a little bit of a cartoony effect. Maybe when she falls, we want this thing to bounce or jiggle a little bit. So you can kind of animate in those little skull cap thingy here, and you know, you can go as far as we need to. So it's kind of cool there. And that is pretty much the last little bit of the body, you know, sort of miscellaneous objects thing. I have a few little, you know, things I'm considering rigging in for the weapons and everything like that. And like I said, this is the kind of stuff that's gonna, you know, change depending on the character that the rig system goes onto. But for now, this is the little miscellaneous things I threw on there. But I mean, you know, the way I set the skirt system up, the way I did the arms, everything, you know, that's going to all kind of be translated over to everything else. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on the facial animation, and the final video will just be showing how I set up my morph target system, as well as the cameras, and how I can get a really quick, really efficient lip sync system. And I can get that going in very little effort at all.